Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the maybe 30th stream or whatever it is now. I'm lost. It's probably, I think we're around 15 or something streams in, and it must be 5 or 6 without a technical error at the start. So congratulations. Yeah, here we go. This is what I like, Joe, because believe me, I've been thinking about it. Do I respond to the comments or do I leave a bit of suspense? And I thought I'll leave a bit of suspense. We're going to start this stream and we're going to do it in the right way. And next to me, I've got the amazing David Poole, who we're going to be talking to today, obviously about Forest. There's a lot of news coming in and out of the club specifically today. And it comes down to the new first team coach that we've got, a couple of loans that have gone out. One of them did leave yesterday on loan, so I do apologise for that. I was working, so I couldn't cover that, unfortunately. But not just that, but maybe some new incomings to the City ground. Now, I was going to pull up the slide then, but I thought, why not let David introduce himself? Now, you came on our stream on Tuesday night. I've got to close my window, so tell my guests a little bit more about you whilst I do that.
Yeah, I came on your stream the other night. Thanks so much for inviting me. Long-suffering Forest fan. I'm 46, and I only recognised like half a minute ago that for the last half of my life, I've been locked in the dungeon of Football League. You know, that's all you need to know about me. So I'm old, I'm wrinkled, I'm rankled. I am the old angry man. You know, I'm the one that's going to go into the old telephone box and fall out with himself because I've spent half my life in the Football League. There you go. That's all you need to know, Jay.
So you've seen a lot of Forest news over time. I think it's fair to say.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember. I mean, when I first got into Forest, I was really young. So my dad always used to go to the away games. So I'm born in 76, so I can't remember Europe, but I do remember Forest early 80s. And my first two memories of Forest in the early 80s were Dad coming back on a Saturday afternoon, either grumpy or drunk. One or both, yeah. But the groundbreaking thing for me to get connected to Forest was teletext. Because it's like, all right, Dad's gone away, and Mum's there, like looking at the football scores, and Forest are winning. I don't know, Ward scored or Ian Wallace has scored or something like that. Like 82, 83, that sort of era. And when I was 8, I remember Dad literally throwing the radio across the room when we got cheated out by Anderlecht.
It's no fun.
I go back a bit, but I don't go back as much as some of the wonderful fans that we've got who will tell you stories about in-story more and Baxter and before.
Well, I mean, I suppose if I was going to go the non-tech way of receiving results, I used to go to a little cafe in Nottingham called Kelly Cafe. Some of you may know it. And I used to go there, and there would always be the newspaper there, and it'd be the sports newspaper. We'd always go in the day after all the games had been played. So I'd obviously go to the back, get a few pages, and then see what our Forest had done. And it usually used to be me being pretty annoyed. But if only we could do that now. They're not going to do their lease again now. So I'm kind of gutted about that. But anyway, we're not here to talk about cafes that I'm sad about closing. We're here to talk about Forest. Although, Kathy, if you are listening, Kelly, if you are listening, I'm really sorry. And I miss you a lot. Joe says, good evening. Ras says, sign 3 midfielders. I've got 3 midfielders in mind. Whether they'll all work together, I don't know, but we'll have a think about that. Kel, I hope you're doing well. Evening. I saw that you were enjoying a beer in your garden earlier. Very jealous. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of beer, I must admit, but I suppose Germany may change that in a week's time. Forest Ant says, good evening, all you lovely trickies. Eve says, hi, Jamie. I hope you're both well. I've been bullied. I've seen some things going around on Twitter today, Eve, and I just want to say, regardless of what's been said or anything, just be yourself. Try to block it out, and don't let them go, Jew. And I don't know what the situation fully is, but literally just ignore it. Just ignore it and get on with your day. Don't let it ruin your good spirit. Warren says, evening all. Lots of Forest news today, Jay.
Hey,
there is a lot, Warren. You are correct. That's included a new first team coach, as we said, a couple of new interested targets that Forest might have, lots more. YouTube user says, evening all. I hope you're doing well. I don't quite know your name, but I hope you're doing well. Steve, evening guys. Lots of midfielders linked and a South American mid signed for January. Potentially, yeah. I think, is that Scarpa that you might be on about? I believe so.
I think so.
People under a certain age, I have no idea what teletext is. That's another conversation. Yeah, says he weren't happy either. Hello, Lewis. Hope you're doing well. Gordon, Football Post. Yeah, that's correct actually. Gordon, you're right. Has David sobered up yet? He said we would finish sixth on the last.
Still going for sixth. Still going for sixth.
Yeah,
Not sobered up.
still going for sixth because he poured that wine on the pre-chat, and I thought, oh, okay. Been watching these streams for weeks, just never managed. Wow, well, J1W, great to have you here because it's time. You are live with us officially, so welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. G. Collis, good evening. Good evening. Had 4 in the end. Yeah, 4 beers. Wow, fair play to you. That's a good evening. Eve, you're a legend. Yeah, I agree, Darryl. And Osborne, hi Jamie. Was you at the Burton game on Tuesday? Unfortunately, I wasn't. It's been how do I put it? A bit of a turbulent week at college. It's not been the greatest of weeks. Obviously, I finished my exams not long ago, so it's just stress and then basically.
How old are you?
I'm 16, so
get out of town.
Yeah, I know the grey hairs don't help you at all, do they? But there you go.
I'd have served you.
That's a good sign, isn't it? That's good. I like that.
No problem.
Tell them German bars a bit of that. Well said. Yeah, Phil, it's the way forward. People have tried to argue with me on Twitter, and I just ignore it now. Just enjoy yourself. But anyway, let's get on with what we're talking about today. And I want to kick it off with perhaps one of the most interesting pieces of analysis from Henshaw Analysis, who's very well known within the Forest community.
Brilliant.
And also, he's really, really good. And also, a tweet that I put up earlier. So this is what I put up earlier, and I'll just change the view a little bit. So Nottingham Forest are looking to sign Wolfsburg's Aster Vranks. I hope I've said that right. It's quite a name and a half, that is. The 19-year-old midfielder, who was also looked at by Liverpool, not just Liverpool, but it was also Chelsea as well, could be on his way to the City Ground. So we're going to talk about him to start with. Now, he's 19, as I mentioned. He's got 77 appearances. That's both professional and junior level. 7 goals, 4 assists. And last season, he had a pass completion rate of 78.4%. Now, Wolfsburg, when they bought him, they actually paid 7.5 million, I believe it was. So they're going to want, Wolfsburg are going to want some return, at least, on that investment. I don't quite know how much that investment has paid off because I know he hasn't been there ridiculously long. But David, thoughts? Have you seen things circulating around social media regarding Aster?
Well, look, before we get into Aster, I want to make a small prediction. I reckon Henshaw's analytics will just become as popular and valued as Dan Taylor when he writes about Forest for The Guardian. Henshaw is that good. And without him, then we wouldn't be able to have the conversations that you're proposing right now, and football fans really wouldn't be able to get into the minutiae of this. So let's look at Aster. I know nothing about him except one thing, and that is one of our scouts, one of our data analysts, is based out in Germany. And that's the one big thing that I want to see. I think a few of us would have remembered Omar Richards because he popped a goal in past us anyway, didn't he, a couple of years ago? But who would have put their hand up to sign Omar Richards a few weeks ago? Nobody. And then there's, if I pronounce his name correctly, Naikate. By the way, Daily Mail did a wonderful expose to Dan Naikate, telling everybody how he was still playing, how he was playing for Metz, and we signed him from Metz. I'm sure he signed for a German team, and of course there's the lad who we signed up front, and I can't pronounce his name, so I'm just going to call him Teu because that's easier. We're doing some serious scouting in Germany. This boy's 19 years old. If we bring him over, we have to remember, I don't know if he speaks English. It's going to be a massive, massive factor. When I was 19 years old, was I ready to move abroad? Was I ready to move abroad and speak, a different language? There are so many factors at play here. And if you do sign a player like that, does it mean they're going straight in for the first team? Or are they going to be with Gaz Braz and Andy Reid for 6 months? Just to bed in. For me, asking a 19-year-old to come from abroad to go straight into your first 11, it's a lot on anybody's shoulders. So I'm not so sure about the strength of this rumour.
So, well, anything is possible. Obviously there's we don't know. Do we know that he doesn't know English 100%?
Well, Naikate speaks good English. I don't know if you heard when he was
Mm.
speaking, and it surprised me. He's left now, but when Brice came over, and if you heard some of his interviews right at the very beginning, his English was fantastic. I don't know if it's one of the things that they do in European academies to get their players to speak
I think it is.
English.
I think it is a standard thing to learn now as a
But
footballer.
I can't pronounce his surname. Julien Biancone, the
Mm.
French guy with an Italian-sounding name. He was interviewed the other day, and his English was fantastic. So maybe it's less of a problem that I'm making out. It'd be interesting to see what the audience have got to say.
Yeah, I don't think it is as much of a problem as it used to be in modern day football, because I think players now know that the chance of you staying at a club in your country, although high, people move all around Europe now, and the most common places to go are France, Germany, Italy, England, and Spain. Right? They are the
Yeah.
most. Obviously, there's Portugal as well sometimes, but it is more those kind of countries. So hit the like, people, if you can. That'd be great. Do subscribe as well. We're at 736 now, so if we could do 750 by the end of the stream, that'll be awesome.
Yes.
And then we want to start pushing for that 800 and just see where it goes. But as for this stream, George, you're going to keep trying to get. I'm not going to hold that message up for any longer because I know what that says. You're not going to get me. You're not going to get me. There is certainly nobody called that. This is I don't know how many attempts you've had. You do try one a night and you're going to get it one day, but you didn't today. Now, Ras, as much as I agree that they did help us get up, by the way, and it's, they were a component or components in getting us up. I don't think that having Zinchenko, Yates and Garner as a midfield in the Premier League would suit us at all. I think they would be run down completely within the first 10 minutes. Now, that's not to say that Yates, Garner and Zinchenko aren't good. That's simply just to say they're not up to that standard yet.
Did all right against Leicester.
They did okay against Leicester, but you've got to think about it. Can they do that week in, week out?
Great point.
But I'm not saying that Leicester game wasn't incredible, because it was. But you do need someone. If you were going to have at least two of the three, which you could do, I think you could have Yates, Garner, maybe, and then someone who's experienced. But I still think you need more experience than that. But for me, no, I don't think you can do those three as a Prem midfield. But looking at, as we said, Asta Vranks, I think potentially. I mean, I know Liverpool and Chelsea were after him, and he chose. Well, I think it might have come down to whoever they had chose as well, the other clubs. He chose Wolfsburg. I think Wolfsburg have got a pretty good development set up there. You've seen it with the likes of De Bruyne over time as well.
Yeah.
And I think it was Julian Draxler, maybe. Was it Draxler that used to play for them?
I don't know. I always thought Draxler was a Bond villain.
No.
But going back to those stats, 77 games, 7 goals. Not bad. 4 assists. Jay, where have you gone? Am I on my own?
You're on your own, look. Sorry about that.
I was on my own. Well, I was holding fort for a second there. I almost had to go and get another glass of wine.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, young man, he's getting a goal he's getting a goal every 10 games, 11 games. 11 games it is. He's got 4 assists there. Good start. Wolfsburg, the German first flight, right? The Bundesliga, right, mate? I mean, no mean feat. No mean feat at all. Let's see. For me, I wouldn't be wanting to put money on a 19-year-old coming in and being our number 10. Now, Forest sign him and he does fantastic, then I'll eat my hat and super. But for me, our midfield is light, inexperience in the central midfield. And, I'd like to see somebody who's come in with 100 Premier League games under their belt in this 8 or 10 position. We need that guy.
I do agree. I think you've got to have a balance. I think we do need people that are Prem experience. I 100% agree. But I don't think he would be the only midfielder to join. Obviously, I think it would be him and then someone else alongside him. And as you've seen with and by the way, I can see Jason Hammonds as well. You're trying to make me say a name thing. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. And Ras, I'm still sticking by what I said. they gave them a hard time, yes, but you've got to think when they've got a full first team out, and I know they did put good players on, but it wasn't a full first team for some of them. But I'm not going to come off my point about Vranks, because you have to look at other younger players across the continent. And obviously, not in the Premier League, but Jude Bellingham, for example, at Dortmund, he's 20, whether I'm not saying that Vranks by any means is the next Bellingham, because Bellingham is a great talent. But I think we need to have some level of faith. But there is an argument, and I'm sure that you would probably make it, to say, to what extent can we actually have those kind of gambles? Because we need to get someone's Premier experience.
I think a good way of answering that is, can you flick up Henshaw's slide again, please? And can you just read off those three, the players in that attacking midfield centre position? Because I can't see them from here. It looks like Lolly and somebody else.
Yeah, Lolly and Atif Konate.
So, I mean, no disrespect to Atif.
It's not looking good.
No, I mean, no disrespect to Atif, but he needs to go out on loan. And Lolly, I'll be surprised if he plays 10 games for us this season. I mean, I like the guy. I think he's brilliant. But he's not. He can't be our number one there. Which tells us that we're probably going to go out and sign two pretty decent AMCs.
Who would you have then? Who, let's say two of them, because I think you might need three all round, but we'll go two main ones that are actually going to play week in, week out. Who are you choosing?
That's a really, really hard question. I think rather than who, I think what is perhaps a better way for me to answer it. So what do I mean by what? An AMC can have two different types of roles. They can play that 8 role, and I think we need an attacking an AMC that can play that 8 role, that can dig in a little bit. That, and we mentioned Keenan Davis the other night. Comes back, tracks back, gets that tackle in, shrugs a couple of players off, in the middle of the park, and then sprays the ball out wide. We need an AMC to do that, but we also need the AMC as well, in where they can glide forward. And Davis isn't a glider. No. But we can glide forward. And you think, damn, is this guy going back a few years, Nigel Clough, right? Is he a number 9 or is he a number 10? He was absolutely fantastic number 10, and a fantastic number 10. So you've got different types of AMC that are out there. Are they a little bit more attacking, or are they the ones that they'll track back, and get their shoulder in, get their foot in, and win the ball? So my argument would be to have two different types of attacking midfield centre player, because then you can start to address the opposition to a certain degree. Who's going to fit better here in terms of breaking, playing deep, and stuff like that.
So there's a wide variety of options. I don't think Davis. I mean, we did speak about Davis maybe playing that cam position just a couple of days ago. But obviously we flagged up he's got a good shot on him. He can pass. He knows the formation well. And he knows the tactics.
I don't think he has got a great shot on it.
Really? Did that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You see, and this is something that he can improve on. You see, I just want to pick out two players, Michael Antonio and Stan Collymore. Different eras, right? And Stan Collymores are great. So we have to, and Antonio's extremely experienced in the Premiership. So it's a bit hard to compare Davis against those. But one of the things that Collymore and Antonio had was power outside of the box when shooting. And the reason why they had shooting power was because of balance. And if you look at some of Davis's shots, he gets the ball, he's 25 yards out, and he hits it, and his shoulders low, and the ball squirms away across the floor. And even if it was on target, the keeper's going to get it. So can he hit a ball? He can hit a ball. When he hits the ball, it stays hit. But he lacks balance when he's shooting. Just have a look at some of his body positions. Zinkernagel was the same as well to a certain degree. Really scuffing the shot. They're putting a lot of power into it, but not really making that true connection that you need. Even if it went on target, the keeper's going to get it. So for me, it's an area of an area for Davis to develop.
Yeah, it's for him to develop. But obviously with Davis, I mean, even though he's a striker, he does a lot more than just score. because he does make important passes. He does get into good positions,
Absolutely.
and he is very physical on the ball, which is good to see, because from other players in the team, you don't really get that same level of physicality. But with other players in the team, sometimes they don't need that physicality that much. Because I suppose, I mean, more so in the Premier League as well, because, I mean, you go down slightly and it's a free kick kind of thing. So whether they're going to really need to have that physicality as much, I don't really know.
I think the physicality will actually frighten quite a few of the opposition defences.
Especially with our attack, because I think Awoniyi will present, issues for them.
I haven't seen him yet, apart from the 45 minutes in Spain that I got my pass for. And so I can't really say too much. There were a few comments on Twitter sort of referring to him at the Burton game as Collymore type, coming deep, looking for the ball, and making those long sort of gangly sort of runs forward. So that would be interesting. If he is one of those players that can pick the ball up and run with it. I've seen him on YouTube, and I would say that he does tend to come alive in that second 18-yard box, the 18 to 36 yards out. Take a player on, burn past them, stick the ball in the back of the net. Thanks very much.
So there's a lot to come from Awoniyi. I think people perhaps being a bit too quick to judge him, because although it's pre-season and you're playing against clubs like Burton and, no disrespect to Coventry, because they're not a bad side, but you're playing likes of Coventry. I think you have to give him a bit more time than this, because we haven't even started in the Premier League yet. And, he's just had a big holiday, just as everybody has. He's still not fully adjusted to the team. He's still a new player, and he's got a massive price over his head that he signed for. So there's a lot of pressure on him.
Keyword there. Keyword you've mentioned, adjustment, and I think you're absolutely right. Pre-season, back in the old days, and I'm only going back 3 or 4 years. Pre-season was like about shifting a few beers and a few pies off your stomach, but it's not now. I mean, all these footballers have got their own personal trainers, and they're coming back better than they were, fitter than were before. Now I think it's about adjustment into a new team and understanding the way that your coach, your manager wants you to play. He's not new to this country, which is good. Because he was, where was he based? He was up at Liverpool, wasn't he? If I remember rightly. But I think he lived down in London. So he's not new to this country, and that's good. But yeah, getting these people to settle in. I'm sorry, because I did digress, because you were talking about the cam position, but we dropped into number 9.
Well, we've got to be talking about everything this stream, because a lot has happened today. And me and David are going to be bringing you through all of that. I'm going to look through some of these comments.
Come on then.
Of course, we've got to go to Mr. Dorr, who is in London currently, and he's got something awesome coming for you all. I know what it is, and he doesn't know that I know. So, Dorr, I know what it is, my friend. I'm not going to say anything, but good luck. All the faith in you. Steve,
I've got to guess what Mr. Dorr's involved with.
Don't guess.
Got to guess.
Don't guess.
It's not that magazine. It's not that naughty magazine cover, is it?
It's Good Housekeeping.
Good Housekeeping.
Yeah, it's Good Housekeeping. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, because I made my appearance in Beano, so.
What, Mr. Dorr and David Johnson in Good Housekeeping.
You imagine that, you're sitting on the loo and you open that and it's like, where do we even get here? Yeah, so Steve says this, though, on a non-housekeeping note. Cooper likes to get in players who can play multiple roles, so he'll be focusing. Absolutely. Versatility, as we've seen with Biancone. Hazen says we really need to figure out who takes set pieces.
Great point.
Yeah. Who do you think takes set pieces next season? Or do you think they're yet to come?
Well, last season it was Jimmy Garner, wasn't it? And when he was on form, boing, did they come in? I mean, the other night against Burton, it was Cafu. And we've seen Cafu take set pieces before, and he's got a good whip on him. But I don't know if Forest have it, but some clubs have coaches specifically for set pieces. I mean, Liverpool have actually got a throwing coach. Which is, and if you look at Liverpool, if you don't know this, when Liverpool are throwing the ball in, traditionally you hear, right, they're throwing it in with one hand. They're throwing it with one hand, with the other hand on the side to keep it legal. And anyway, Who should I think? Who do I think should be taking set pieces? Not a striker. They need to be in the box, not a centre half, because they need to be in the box. Probably a winger who doesn't quite have the height of a centre forward, or maybe even your cam position. But I think it's a little bit too early yet to say who should be taking them, because we've probably got another 5 or 6 players that are going to come through. Interestingly, I don't know if you saw. Do you get The Athletic, Jay?
I don't. I think I need to subscribe to it.
You ought to. I mean, they'll do a special offer soon. They do one every August. It's like half price, like $30 for the year or something like that. So it's not even pounds, shillings, and pence. And they were talking about statistics of set pieces and, in particular, Spurs. And they were saying how bad Spurs were. Last season, it was their. If I ask you how many corners did it take last season to get their first goal, you won't guess. 67 corners they needed for their first goal. And last year, I mean, Harry Kane was taking their direct free kicks. And if I remember rightly, he didn't score one from a direct free kick. And they went on to talk about how set pieces are changing. And, traditionally, the defensive team would have a wall. But to counter that wall today, the offensive team may also have a wall that might be in front of that wall or behind the wall or even at the side of the wall. So for me, it's a great point to raise set pieces, because I think it's an area that Forest can really, really capitalise on and take a competitive advantage, because other clubs aren't doing. And we need to be able to eke out every percentile point possible in terms of being able to compete. Back in the days of even like 15, 20 years ago, but before that, if you look at in the 80s and the 90s, look at teams like Wimbledon, Crystal Palace, Neil Warnock's teams, and they were all really, really good on corners. Why? Because it's man for man. You lose that skill. You lose a certain level of skill, and it is a feature of football that Forest really ought to capitalise on. So I don't know if we've got any set piece specialists within the club at the moment. But if you're a Forest player, you need to be putting your hand up and training on those set pieces, whether you're shooting on goal or whether you're whipping the ball in and what have you not, because it's absolutely crucial for us this coming season.
Well, we've seen some important set pieces, haven't we? I mean, I think that Stoke game where I honestly thought I'd see Forest lose at home for the first time, because I watched every home game from December and commentated on every single one but Liverpool, and that was the only one that I had seen us lose. Pretty much. I think I might have missed a game or two between that. But the Stoke game, I thought potentially we could lose that. And then obviously James Garner had that free kick. I don't think it quite went in, and then somebody headed it in. So yeah, it wasn't quite. It came off the crossbar, didn't it? But look at teams like Huddersfield. I was genuinely quite scared when we were at Wembley and they were, playing for the set piece. You could see Lewis O'Brien going down and things like that. Yeah. So they knew what they were doing, and they knew that if they got that opportunity, they were going to take it. And I think in the Premier League, it's something that we want to be prepared for, not only to take a set piece, but also to defend against the set piece, because I know that on corners, Forest haven't been particularly great at times. I think we saw it towards the end of the season. We saw it towards the end of the season, though, didn't we? It would just get headed into the goal too easily at times, considering, you've got some quite big lads in the box. But I don't even think it's about how large the people in the box are. It's just about how the other team does their set pieces. So I think we need to look at set pieces offensively and defensively, because
absolutely
in both areas, I think we are lacking in some way. But yeah, there's a lot to be improved on. But this as much as this year is going to be a challenge, it's also going to be a lesson. And let's just hope we come out the good end of that.
The article in The Athletic, I forget the statistic, but they were referring to Italy and Italian clubs, saying there are fewer clubs that take a shot on goal now, and a greater amount of clubs that want to retain possession in that final third and try and create an opening that way.
So, I mean, Italy's a great place to look for football, isn't it? I've got an Inter Milan shirt on tonight. Not because I'm an Inter Milan fan, because I prefer Fiorentina, to be honest. But they've got some good classic shirts that I'm trying to find on eBay. If any of you have got one for sale, then I'd love that. But I mean, if you could look at Italian defences over the last couple of decades, I'd love to have a defence like that at Forest. And I think I'm never going to compare Forest to anything like AC Milan or Inter Milan back in the day, when you had Gattuso's and others. But I think Forest are going to have one of the better defences in the league, and I'm not going to overstate that. I think that McKenna's probably going to make the big step up, and I think he's going to do it to a very good degree. I think Niakate, well, I think it will take time, because I think it's him adjusting to the team more so than his ability adjusting, because I think he's got the ability. I think it's just the ability to work with other players around him. If Steve Cook makes the appearances, then I think he's just going to be fine because he's got a lot of experience there. Joe Worrell, I think it's going to be tough for him. I think he'll do it, but I think it's going to be tough for him because don't forget, he's young for one, but my main reasoning for it is because he's a Forest lad. He's been there since he was young. The amount of pressure to not only be in the Premier League, but to captain your club. You can't be making mistakes, you know what I mean? Because they will cost. And, obviously in a season like this, any mistake is potentially season changing. So yeah, it's hard for all the players. And it's a lot more, going on off the pitch as well as on the pitch. So need to have a look at that.
Defense has changed though over the years. You used to
massively.
Look at typically your back four and how can they read the game and intercept, head, pass, tackle, what have you not. But the way the game is played now, we really do play the game in offensive and defensive positions where players will take up certain positions to nullify the threat when they're not even on the ball. So the way that Forest defended last year, and we saw it very, very early on. Probably might even been the Huddersfield game when Stephen Reid was in charge. All of a sudden, the team defended. It wasn't, it's your responsibility to defend and my responsibility to put the ball in the back of the net. It was a question of shape, the shape that you're in when you're offensively, and the shape that you're in when you're in defensively as well. So coming from the back of last season, and we're bringing in a lot of new players. So you could say, well, the core has been disrupted, but I would like to say that the core wasn't there in September anyway. Because when I say the core, I'm talking about, in this instance, Steve Cooper's philosophy of defending. That obviously the players were there, but his philosophy of defending was not there. But very quickly, we stopped conceding. We retained the ball, and we scored goals and we won games.
Well, just before Wembley, we'd gone maybe 6 or 7 games without letting a goal in. So
and it was unheard of, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a brick wall, wasn't it? It was Joe Worrell, McKenna, and Steve Cook at the back, and it was you saw Steve Cook literally jumping in for headers that were knee height. So it's ability and it's passion as well, and it's the not giving up kind of element to it. And
the players tracking back, Zinchenko, he's left now, but how many times did Zinchenko track back and put a little sliding tackle in and win the ball? I mean, sometimes he came back and knew that he had to foul the opponent and give up a yellow, but he knew that he had to do that. He was giving one up for the team. It was really, really good to watch.
Absolutely. But this is what I'm looking forward to this season. Passion, players that want to play for the club, which is what Steve Cooper said in an interview as well. He's only going to get players, because David Jackson did a great interview with him, and he said, I just want to get players that want to play for this club. But I do want to just make a statement here as well, because Phil, I do actually have some Forest memorabilia behind me. Now, you might not be able to read that poster. No, where is it? There.
It's Jason Lee behind you, right?
No, that's Jamie O'Hara. That's Jamie O'Hara there. And it's a signed picture from him to say, I think it was either Happy Christmas or Happy Birthday to me. So there's one. And then here is one from, I think, maybe the Champions Cup many years ago. And there was Real Madrid and I think Belgrade, maybe.
I'm sorry, Jamie O'Hara. When did he put on a Forest shirt? Or was it a testimonial game?
Is it Jamie O'Hara? Give me a minute. One sec. Let me.
I'm sure Jamie O'Hara played for the Spuds, right? Never turned out for us, did he?
Give me 1 sec. Let me have a look at this.
I think you're right, by the way, whoever said that. I think Jamie here needs to be doing some press ups as punishment for new Forest memorabilia.
Yeah, I think that was it. And by the way, Nick, I'm not doubting Worrell. I think he's going to do really well. As I said, I think he'll make the step up, but
Yeah,
lots
me
of pressure
too.
on him. But yeah, no, these are both Forest memorabilia. So yeah, look at that.
And you sure that's Jamie O'Hara?
That's what it says on the signature.
Can we all just anybody who's watching this? How many people have we got
Is it
watching?
Jamie?
Did Jamie O'Hara play for Forest? I'm sure he didn't. If he did, I'm doing press ups.
Let me have a quick look now. You're doing press ups if really.
I'll do some press ups off camera naturally.
I'm
If
sure it
Jamie
was.
O'Hara,
Was it
never.
Jamie? No, who was it then? It was. Surely it was, because that's what other O'Hara is it then? What?
It's not John O'Hare, is it?
Oh, do you know what it is? No, it is. It actually is.
John O'Hare from the 70s.
John O'Hare. No, I don't know. This is because I've been watching Talk Sport all day. This is. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, it is John O'Hare. Oh, for God's sake. I've been watching Talk Sport all day.
Press ups. Press
Oh,
ups. Well done. Not
yeah.
Nick Hempel's on there, yeah, but he's right. Yeah, it's John O'Hare. Last
Yeah,
seen
you're all
working
laughing
in
at me now. Look, this is what I get for watching Talk Sport all day. I see that. Yeah, cheers everyone for letting me know, because I know you're going to be letting me know for the next 5 minutes. I do mean John O'Hare, yes. I knew. I thought Jamie O'Hara. Why have I just said that? I'm too deep in now. Let's keep arguing.
I didn't know that John O'Hare was involved in a reality TV show and had a wag. I mean, I'm sure he'd be really impressed.
I'm just saying, I wasn't actually in the John O'Hare generation, so at least Jim White never played for us either. Yeah, thank you for that. I did meet him.
Snooker.
Yeah. Well, he's also on TalkSport, as I think Jimmy was about to kindly mention. Simon Jordan, do you reckon he'd be a good number 9? I think so.
Simon Jordan probably off decent in the bar.
Yeah. Or probably fighting with the new Birmingham owner. I think that was an interesting interview.
That was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, has everybody heard about this new Birmingham, want for a better word, nut job?
Yeah, Bassini.
This guy's next level. He's so bad. He had to change his name, didn't he?
Yeah, because he released some very silly videos on the internet of him doing some very silly things. You're more than, do what you want to do on the internet, but please do not search that up. That is, because
is this Alan Hardy Notts County level silly?
I think it actually is. I think it is worse than what Alan Hardy did, from what I've heard. Yeah. So you still see Alan Hardy on Twitter though, don't you? Occasionally fighting with Notts County fans. It's weird to watch, to be honest. I don't know what's going on between that lot. Because
I know we had Fawaz, but Birmingham are about to get this lad. Derby had that saviour, God bless him, who's just left, and Notts County had Hardy. I think we got off light.
Yeah, I think we did get off that. I think we're lucky, really, really lucky. Nick, I know what you're saying, because Nick is very literal and he knows his facts, and that is true. But it's looking like he's the most likely one to take it over. I mean, apparently he's proven the money he's got, and he's going to give all this money. If you've heard the interview, it's just basically Bassini saying the word right for about 15 minutes, and he doesn't actually answer the question, and Jim White starts to get really frustrated. But yeah, Bassini's out of his mind. Laura, you Reds.
Hey, Laura.
Dominic says we need to finish above Leeds, Bournemouth, Palace, Fulham to stay up.
Dominic, that's actually Dirty Leeds. Dirty Leeds. Can you just change that, please? Dirty Leeds. It's not Leeds. It's Dirty Leeds.
It's
Jay. Where do they play at?
What, Leeds?
Yeah, where do they play at?
Ellen Road.
No, it's Bell End Road. We have to get this right. These are facts. These are Forest facts.
I was keeping this PG for all the people that are in here, but you know what? You've thrown it out the window now. I mean, not even past Watershed. Yeah, that's shocking.
He mentioned Dirty Leeds. I mean, not me. I mean, it's a yellow card offence, that anyway.
Yeah, blame it on Dominic. Yellow card for you, my son. Not good enough there. Forest Fanatic. No, it is John O'Hare. I promise you it is John O'Hare. It was a picture from 1979, and I think it's Kenny Burns that's in the background. I think. But then again, going off what I said earlier, you never know.
Is that a boomerang you've got on one of the photos there?
That is a boomerang. Yeah, my friend got it for me from Fortaventura. So
obviously,
yeah,
that hotbed of Aboriginal throwing sports.
Well, there you go, though. It's also, I've never thrown it because I don't dare. But yeah, guys, 171. This man here, Stanhope's Away Days, he's awesome, and he's going to be doing some vlogs in the very near future as well. I know that he actually managed to get a ticket to go to Barnsley, not just for himself, but with Ez as well, who is a regular on this show. And as many of you know, Ez actually can't go to games because he doesn't have the right memberships, and it's been a tough year overall for him. And the last couple of years, obviously, for everybody, but Ez has been particularly hard trying to get to Forest. And his last game was the smashing of Nottingham Forest by Sheffield Wednesday and Jordan Rhodes, I think it was. So,
that hat trick.
Yeah, that hat trick that night. Yeah, absolutely lethal.
It shouldn't be allowed back.
No, they should. No. Oh no. But Liam is taking him to Barnsley, and hopefully he gets to see a win this time. So, big shout out to Stanhope's Away Days. Do subscribe if you can. He's a great man. And he's going to be bringing you some good vlogs alongside this man as well. Door on tour. Top man. We're going to Germany. And Phil, I know you're in the chat somewhere. So say hello to us. Phil is actually driving us to Edinburgh. So big thanks to you, Phil. That means a lot to us. And hit them up if you can.
Edinburgh's like this stopover to Berlin, is it?
Well, in terms of pricing, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
You wouldn't think it though, would you? You wouldn't think it that it would actually be cheaper to go all the way to Scotland for 5 hours and then go backwards.
It's weird because when I go to the States, I often have to go out to Salzburg or not Salzburg, a place in Switzerland, Zurich. You have to go the wrong way to come out the right way to get it cheaper and stuff like that.
The world doesn't make sense. It's cheaper to go to for Germany for 2 days than it is in London one day. So
are you staying in a place? Are you going to just like sleep in train stations? Or?
No. I haven't suggested that idea to Dor because I think everybody knows, or as Lee calls him, Snory Dory. Dor likes his sleep, right? He needs his beauty sleep. So we've got to get somewhere comfy. So we've actually got a little Airbnb in the middle of the city centre. So
rumor has it with Dor, wherever you travel, you need a toilet.
Really?
Yeah, I've been on a few. I watch quite a few of his YouTube stuff, and they all refer to him being on the couch, sat next to the toilet.
Well,
I'd be careful.
It's not wrong actually. Was it? No, it wasn't a toilet. But I remember we were on. I was going to Manchester with my mum for the youth final. And then you wouldn't believe it, as we sit down, guess who sat behind us? The Door on tour, and he's sleeping. So, yeah, I've got the photo. It was brilliant, that was. But that was a good day out at Man United, regardless of the result. I think 5,000 or 6,000 Forest fans made Man United look like idiots. So Nick says, at least you're not flying from Doncaster Sheffield Airport. It could be shut. I didn't even know they had airports, to be completely honest with you. There's something new every day.
It's called the Robin Hood.
It's called the Robin Hood, yeah.
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah, unless they changed it. Yeah, it's called the Robin Hood Airport.
I did not know that. Well, there you go.
Because they've got nothing up there. You know, they're trying to borrow stuff from us, aren't they?
No, always. I shouldn't say that because I'll get just a load of comments saying scab in the comments. Larry Lloyd is my neighbour. Oh, right, okay. Stanhope's Away Days is 2 away from 350. If you could get him to 360 by the end of tonight, that'd be so much better. You can literally just click on his comment and his profile, and you can subscribe. How easy is that? Park Bench says Sir Lindsay. Hi guys from Melbourne. Love the show. Wow, thank you very much, Neil. I'd love to come over to Melbourne. Hopefully, Forest do some pre-season there one day.
Jay,
that'd be awesome.
Jay, we can't call it Melbourne.
Melbourne?
Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne, mate. It's Melbourne.
It's Melbourne.
It's Melbourne. Yeah, no, we call it Melbourne because of that little hole near Derby between there and Swaddling Coat. But now the Aussies call it Melbourne, mate.
I'm thinking of like Jason Bourne.
Well, but this guy lives down in Australia. Tell us, right? What was his name?
His name was Neil Shenton.
Neil, is it Melbourne or Melbourne? There we go.
It's Melbourne. There we go.
In your South
Um,
African accent.
oh, I can't now. I'm not doing that. When do you think tickets for the Notts County game will be released? I think
Is
you
that
don't.
Eve?
I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think they're going to release tickets soon, so I wouldn't worry. I'd give it another. I mean, it probably be sometime maybe later this week, if not early next week. I would say maybe. But
I think Forest ought to go all the way up to Scarborough and play on the beach because that's where Eve lives. You see, up in Scarborough. I think we ought to have an away day up there. Nice
no,
chips.
did not know
Yeah.
that. Scarborough. Wow. I've never been to Scarborough actually. I think my parents talk about a holiday there, but we're diverting. We're diverting from what we're talking about because people keep giving me these great names. Snore on tour. That's brilliant. Chauffeur Phil. Yeah, but it's going to be a classy ride, that is, and I appreciate that. Away kit is announced tomorrow. I mean, I already know what it looks like, so I've kind of spoiled
Really?
because it was on Twitter, wasn't it?
I don't know. I've not seen that. Who released that?
Um, it
Is
was
it?
there was a leak on Twitter, and somebody has been, I don't know where they were shooting the photos for it, but it's happened in the past where Forest have been shooting at locations across Nottingham, and people have obviously walked past and caught it. There you go. Look, oh, I know what it is now. So
Come on, is it a
what I
high vis
can
vest?
see, I think not quite, but it is yellow. I think it's yellow with blue down the middle sides.
We need
So
white. It's got to be white. You know that with that Fawaz kit. Ugh, I hate saying Fawaz. White kit, red pinstripes. Oh god, it was beautiful,
yeah, but what
beautiful.
happens when I spill my lasagna on it like I did with my other white shirt earlier? Well, what's going to happen then? I want
Well,
to
you
wear this
just like
for like a
well,
week.
look, if you get lasagna in your white shirt, you just dab a little bit of alcohol on it and you rub it out, and it's fine. Nobody knows the difference.
Ah, no. Wow. And as far as answer, Davey's correct. Doncaster Airport is called Robin Hood. Sadsters. Love that.
Sadsters, yeah.
Used to be Robin Hood, says Nick. Jamie Robinson is the new head coach. Yeah. And I'm going to read you a bit of a
Oh,
statement.
oh yeah.
So this is what Forrest had to say earlier on his appointment. He had a 13-year playing career with clubs like Liverpool and Barnsley. And he's been doing stuff with the FA for the last 11 years as head of professional game coach development. So at St. George's Park. So he's led the FA Education's player and coach development programs for coaches in the elite game, including leading the UEFA Pro License, UEFA A, and FA Advanced Youth Award, and team of 30 highly talented coach developers. So he's happy to be at Forest. He's got a lot of experience. He actually knows Steve Cooper, and he's known him for a few years as well. It's good for me, I think. I mean, if Steve Cooper says that he wants him, then for me, I want him too.
Jay, more so than that. I'm not sure if I read it on Twitter, somewhere like that. But Jamie, shall we call him Robbo? Robbo was saying that he knows the Forest Academy. He spent a bit of time at the academy over the last season. What he was doing there, whether he was working for opposition or talking to Gaz and Andy, I don't know. But this guy is not. It certainly didn't hand his CV in and queue up for a job. Very, very well known to Forest, very well known to Steve Cooper, and we've gone, come and work with us.
Well, it would be great.
Bit of cherry picking.
Absolutely. Let's just hope it goes as well as we think it will. Obviously, big boots to fill with Stephen Reid. You know, he's a great guy. He liked my tweet actually the other day, wishing him all the best. I think he takes a lot of time out to say hello to people, especially before the game. He would always say hello. So pleasure to meet him, and obviously Alan Tate and Steve as well. So that's great. Get a bib, says Mark. Come on. I was just, I was having a bit of lasagna earlier and I ruined the shirt, but would love to see a green shirt with brown shorts to represent trees. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? A bit more Minecraft.
very, very, very Minecraft. My son,
Yeah,
you get my 8-year-old into football.
Yeah, maybe a little creeper on the back of it as well. Just don't lasagna in white. Good idea.
Just think of Minecraft Steve playing in centre half. Minecraft Steve Cook.
Oh God, Minecraft Steve Cook. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to clip that. League One teams play in white.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
love that. Well, I wouldn't say it's a misdirection. I would say that I'm almost 70 to 80% sure that's what's going to be released tomorrow. So to me, I am a bit colourblind, but it looked like to me like a blue or a purple third kit, or it could be the away kit. But I'm pretty sure
yellow earlier, and now you've gone from blue to purple.
There was 3 different kits. There was 3 different kits on show. So there was the red kit you've already seen, and then there was the yellow and blue one next to it, and then there was also just a straight out blue one.
Jay, I'm just thinking if there's any painters and decorators watching, and you actually do work in Derby, right? And if anybody wants white, just refer it to as League One white.
Yeah, League One white. If anybody is a painter
That's
and decorator,
who came up with that? Who came up with only League One clubs playing white? That was
this
brilliant,
was
Warren.
that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, League One white. Might have to change my Twitter handle to that.
Yeah, wow, League One. That I love that. Well, Nick's just said, as head of professional development coaching, Jamie Robinson was traveling around the professional development league teams, so he's got experience and he knows what he's doing, which is all a breath of fresh air. But I don't think
players.
Well, he knows players, but he knows what to do with players as well, and he knows Steve Cooper, which is also really important because he knows what Steve Cooper will expect and want out of that team, and he'll also know the team as well. So, really, really good. No updates so far on the new Nottingham Forest sponsor. I don't know.
Who would we like?
Labatt's.
Would you like Doggy Daycare? Right? I mean,
oh, here we go. Sponsored by Doggy Daycare.
Did you see that Doggy Daycare have put a tweet out about that?
Really?
Yeah, no, they were really happy about it. I saw it this morning. They were just thanking the Burton and Forest fans for joining in Doggy Daycare. I think we ought to have like some sort of novel approach to sponsorship. I mean, for a start, even the player sponsors, right? By the way, you're moving away from the shirt sponsors. Put a note down here. Just I want to hear your comments. When we sign Toffolo and O'Brien, should how you can sponsor a kit, can't you? So you're going to get like, I don't know, the Spanish section of the Nottingham Forest fan club go and sponsor a player, right? Who reckons that Eva's Grill should sponsor Toffolo and O'Brien for their kit? Just put a yes in the comments. And if you've got any ideas for sponsors, like funny names as well, any funny names for sponsors, to put in the comments, that'd be pretty cool.
If I had enough money, I'd sponsor them because I sponsor my Saturday League team.
Do you? That's magic.
I do. I love it. I mean, it wasn't nice when we bought the kits because they didn't come out the same colour that we wanted. Because we play in yellow and blue.
Right.
But they put it in yellow and purple. So, but you know what? It actually looked quite nice. And I'll make sure I'll try and get. It's in like the Nigeria kit that was out a few years ago. It's kind of like that. So
right, okay. See, yellow and blue. The only thing I think of yellow and blue when it comes to that is that horrible away kit that Derby County had, the auto windscreen sponsor on the front. I mean, it's a sort of kit where you see somebody wearing it in the street, you just want to run them over. And because that's all that kit deserves. All Mansfield, of course. Oh, right. There we go. John Moss's record shop. Fantastic.
The
vinyl whistle, brilliant.
Well, as much as I want to talk about the vinyl whistle, a couple of things have happened as well as what we've spoken about. We've spoken about everything, actually. We've got through a lot today. Labatt became Budweiser. I don't know if I want Budweiser on the front of the shirt.
Oh, no, not Bud.
No.
Labatt's came Budweiser?
Maybe. But some news that we don't have to question. Finback. He has joined Carlisle on loan. A good loan for him. I think he needs it. Didn't he make an appearance for Forest at some point last season? I'm sure it was early season.
Yeah, he played under Houghton, didn't he? I think he played a couple of times. I think actually it was in the cup game first of all. Who did we beat we managed to beat in the cup? Who was that? We scored a couple. Carvalho scored a couple that night, didn't he? And I think Finback was playing that night.
Yeah. It was a tough game. I know that for him.
But this is what a fantastic thing for Finn. A year away in Carlisle. He's away. He's not in a big town. He's not going to get in any trouble. You know, it's not like I'm the big Forest boy in town. Look at me, because it's Carlisle. I mean, Carlisle's smaller than Sutton in Ashfield. I think it's great. Do they play good football? Does anybody know anything about Carlisle?
I know nothing. I play Football Manager. I'm a regular on it, but I still don't know anything about Carlisle. But either way, I think any loan from him at this rate is going to be good because it's game time that he needs. I like James's idea of Paul Smith designing the kits and boots, and having
Yeah.
kits and boots sponsoring. That'd be cool. But in terms of another loan as well, one that I was a bit 50-50 on, and David, I'm going to ask your opinion. And it was Stoke away that Finback got a chance. So Dor knows that one. So yeah, Finback, son of Rugby World Cup winner Neil Back. Yep. But anyway, John Panzo. He has gone to Coventry on loan. Now, it's one of those where I would like him for depth, if I'm being honest, in case anything goes wrong. Right, I know we've got versatile defenders and people ready to step in, but I did want depth. But the other side of me said, well, we need him to go out and get, some game time. And then there's another side to it, because Coventry were actually trying to buy Panzo before we got it, before Steve Cooper was even manager. So I think it might have even been before. When did Chris Hughton come into charge?
It was 4 games in, wasn't it, after Lamouchi? So you're looking at the beginning of September of 2020.
Wow. How did we go that long with that guy? Yeah, that was...
He had it hard, though. I mean, Chris wasn't as dynamic as he should have been, but he really had everything against him. It was such an unusual, weird time of football and life, and it must have been very difficult as a football manager. But anyway, sorry, Panzo. Yeah, I think it's a great signing for him. I think it's good for us as well. I mean, I like Coventry. I mean, not as in like I like Coventry City. They're a great football team. I like Mark Robbins' style of play. They're nitty, they're gritty, they get in there, they put the foot on the ball, they pass it around. I like their 2 lads up front. O'Hare. Now I don't know if that's John O'Hare's lad or not. I meant to mention it earlier. And who's the other guy? Callum Dudar. Is it Callum O'Hare? And 2 lads up. 2 lads up front.
Yeah, and they've got Gustavo Hamer in the middle as well. Don't forget
Hamer. He's the other chap. I really like their football. When they played us the other day, they brought the ball out as well from the back. It's not too dissimilar to us. It's a little bit physical. They're going to give Panzo the opportunity to be on the ball. He's going to move out of that defence, just how we want him to be at Forest. He's not going to get into our first team. And if he was in our first team, then we've got problems. But give him 40 games, not a 6-month loan. Give him 40 games, a whole year to concentrate on, not till Christmas, a whole year. And he's got that. He can settle down and roll his sleeves up, get involved, and let Monk Robbins add some value to him. And I think that's what he'll do. It wouldn't surprise me if Coventry City are challenging.
Well, give him time. I think Coventry will do quite well this season. I think, I'm not going to say potentially top 6, but I mean, maybe, you don't know. I mean, David, based off your predictions for us in the Prem, I mean, I think you're going to say they're going to win the league. No, but seriously, I think they'll do well. I don't see Huddersfield doing very well, but that's not because I'm bitter about anything to do with them. I just don't think they've got what it takes financially at the moment. I think
too many changes. Lose your manager, you're going to lose 2 of your best players.
That close in, and as someone said, we're only like 23 days away from Newcastle, so it's not long. But Osborne has a question for us, and I just want to, before I answer that question, look at a few of the comments. Coca-Cola would look nice. I think 3, the phone company, would be quite nice. But Osborne has asked us a question. But Tim, good night. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be going in about 20 minutes. But so Osborne asked us a question. Jamie and David, what's your ideal starting 11 against Newcastle? This can include transfers in the future as well. Who are you saying?
Ronaldo up front, then.
Oh, well, come
on. You got to start at Henderson, right? Well, I take it we're going to go, what, 3-4-1-2? Is that the formation we're going to play?
Yeah. Well, would it be like a 5-3-2, wouldn't it?
Well, three at the back, then 4 across midfield, and then your AMC and 2 up front? Or do you want to go 1-2? How do you... 7, 8, 10? Yeah. What's your formation? What do you want to do this?
3 at the back, 2 wing backs.
2 wing backs.
Yeah, 2 wing backs, 3 in midfield, and then 2 up front. I think that should be it.
All right. Okay. It's got to be Henderson, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Hendo's the first one. Yeah.
He's the best signing, by the way.
He is. Ooh, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Right.
Centre off, left side.
Near Karte,
Are you going to go him over McKenna?
because I want McKenna in the middle.
By the way, does anybody see the Daily Mail today when they're talking about Forest proposed 11 against
And they put
Newcastle?
Colback over McKenna.
No, well, it was, yeah, they said McKenna's name, but put McCulback's photo. It was
That was
amazing.
so embarrassing. That really was embarrassing.
The Scottish Perlo. So you're going to go left hand side near Karte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to disagree with you. So who do you play in the middle?
McKenna.
Okay. And who would you play on the right?
Worrell.
So no Cook.
No Cook in that team for me.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen. Jay is saying near Karte, McKenna and Worrell. He's omitting the only Forest player in defence with Premiership experience from that back three. So let's see your comments. It's really hard to disagree with you. It's really hard to disagree with you. However, I'm going to go for Cook over McKenna.
You're going to take McKenna out of the squad?
Yeah.
Out of all three defenders, McKenna was the best last season.
Taking McKenna out.
You can't take McKenna out. No way.
Yeah, taking McKenna out.
Seriously, guys. I mean, Mark, you saying you're agreeing with me, and J1W, you agree as well. Can you really take McKenna out of the defence? Really? So you're going to put, and as much as I love, and Mark, your reaction is the same as me. I love Steve Cook, and I think he's got a role to play, and I think he will alternate between some of those defenders. But Scott McKenna, if you could take out any of those defenders, you take out Scott McKenna.
Can't take Worrell out. He's captain. Well, you say you can take him out, but I tell you what.
So you wouldn't take him out for?
I tell you what. Do I drop Worrell for McKenna?
I think you're too deep in it now.
Do I drop Worrell for McKenna? No, I keep Worrell in. I keep Worrell in because I'd be scared of him. I'd have Cook in. I'd have near Karte in. Here's the reason why I'd have near Karte over McKenna. The athleticism of getting forward.
Okay.
That's the only reason why. The only reason why. But it'd be interesting to see what everybody else has got to say on that.
Well, I mean, I can't say some of these because they're a bit. Some of them are slightly offensive and using different words that I should.
Oh, I don't mind that.
McKenna out. David has had a great night until this. Oh dear. I'll quickly have this one up. Boom. There we go. I kept that on very, very.
Who was that? I missed that.
That was Jigsy's Workshop. I don't want to put that one up again. Paul the Fool.
Wow. Thanks.
Okay. Too much wine, Dave, says Daryl.
I'm actually on water now.
I think that's good. You can't take McKenna out. He's our rock. I don't agree with David, says Eve. Get knowledgeable fans on.
Well, I tell you what, Jigsy will invite you, Mum.
Hey, come on. Let's not go with that. This channel we're keeping this Forest. We're keeping it professional. A1G, I know which you're going to refer to. It's when he kind of moves it in between his legs around three players. I know which one you're on about.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, and he actually had some pace on him when he did that run as well. So I just can't believe you take McKenna. Could you give us at least some reasoning as to why you take McKenna out?
Yeah, okay. So partly it's positional. So first of all, the reason why I would have Cook in rather than taking McKenna out is because of that Premiership experience. It's the reason why I'd have Cook in. Leave it there. So why would I go for Worrell? I think Worrell's good enough. He's the captain as well, and he's just going to magically appear at this amazing new level of Joe Worrell that we've never ever seen before, even better than he is. So that brings me down to McKenna and Karte. And I saw something about Karte with his head up a little bit more. He's just physical. He's very, very good in the challenge, just as McKenna is. He's got this elasticity about him. He's got this extra pace about him, in my opinion. So The reason why I'd have Niakate ahead of McKenna is he can take the ball out in his pace. That's the reason why. But it's knife edge stuff.
Wow. That I can't get my head around. I mean, we'll never end this discussion, I don't think. I mean, people are all saying McKenna, but
Well,
I've got some breaking
we'll
news for
see.
you. Maybe it's
Ooh,
not so much breaking news, but Everton, £25 million bid for Morgan Gibbs-White rejected earlier.
good.
We can confirm David is drinking water now, or so he says. Um, but Everton had a £25 million straight out bid, completely rejected by Wolves earlier. And it looks as though also, and this is from Footy Insider, so I'm not sure how true this one is. There's a bit more news, but they're saying that bids have been submitted for both the Brian and Toffolo. Not really news on that behalf, but Morgan
I think
Gibbs-White, they want 20.
Wolves have rejected that for one reason and one reason only, and that is professional care. Because who in their right mind would let any young player go anywhere near Everton? Because they an absolute disaster of a club. They're not going to do anything whatsoever, and Lampard won't be there come mid-December.
I don't personally rate Lampard that much as a manager yet anyway. I think he needs more experience in coaching first. I think, he might have to take the drop down for a little bit and maybe, manage a smaller team, or maybe even just go into coaching with another team. Because there's teams that will have him as a coach, there's no doubt. But I think he's made the jump too quick. I think he
Yeah.
was given a lot of resources at Derby. So I don't think you can really say, he was
the
given
resources he had at Derby was phenomenal.
all those guys playing in the Champions League, some of them. So Tomori, for example, in AC Milan, Mason Mount, Chelsea, Harry Wilson still playing to a big standard.
Mental.
So A1G, I don't think Forest are going to sign Morgan Gibbs-White. I think 30 million is ridiculous. I would rather have this 19-year-old Asta Jan Ranks, because, I mean, Morgan Gibbs-White has only got a little bit more Prem experience than him. But this is it. This is what it's all about.
Asta's played a full season in the Bundesliga. Which, is it better than the Championship? Absolutely.
Exactly. So, and he's 19. He's got a bit more youth to him, a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see. Drop the player of the season. Brilliant, says Forest Fanatic. Yeah, he was player of the season, David.
Yeah, in the Championship.
But none of those defenders were players of the year in the Championship except for him.
Well, you make a good point. We'll see what Steve Cooper comes up with, and you'll all be going, "Wow, David Poole, you're so good. You're so knowledgeable."
I might have to tell Scott McKenna this. I might actually.
No, don't tell him that.
I actually made a really bad error when I first met Scott McKenna. It was really embarrassing. So you play FMJ. Of course, Frank has a lot of potential. He's actually in my West Ham side at the moment. But I was coming out of the media room and obviously saw Scott McKenna there, and it was before he started getting a lot of praise, which he should have been. It was probably one of my first weeks there. It was probably January, I would say. But I remember seeing him, and I didn't have my glasses on. Now I am short-sighted, and I was walking up the steps to go into the stadium, and I saw him just walking just past the Robin Hood suite. So obviously I can't fully see who it is, and I shout, "Figs, Figs!" And Figs at the time, and he looks back at me, and he just laughs and walks into the Robin Hood suite. And I remember thinking that day, like, oh my God, thank God he doesn't recognize I'm the guy that said that. But it was the most embarrassing moment of my life, because it was like, I just started there. I'm trying to make at least a good impression, and I'm calling.
You wait until your first professional interview, and he's going to go, "I'm sorry, but I don't answer to Scott. You can call me Figs."
You call me Figs now. Do you know what, though? I hope that's something that I can one day talk to Colin Frey about on a podcast. That'd be so cool. I want to say as well, I am working on something. I'm trying to get Colin Frey as much as and it won't be a stream. I'm working on getting Colin Frey. I'm working on getting Gary Birtles. I really want to get David Johnson one day as well, because he's just someone that I adore a lot.
Get hold of Chippers, because he's quite active on YouTube, isn't he?
Chippers is someone that I am also, yeah. But Colin Frey, Jono, and Gary Birtles, because I actually know Gary Birtles, so I've got his number and stuff. So I'm just literally trying to get to speak to him, but he's on holiday at the moment. So When he's next in the pub, I'll have a drink and a bit of food with him, and we'll do a podcast. But another discussion. I'm working on it.
Hold on, hold on. We've gone through our 3 centre halves. We need to go through our midfield now, don't we?
Oh God, David, I'm dreading it after what you said. I want to just. This is by far the best Forest YouTuber, but get some knowledgeable fans.
Thanks, Jigsy.
I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm leaving this. Thank you very much.
Come on, left wing back.
Omar Richards, without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think the wing backs are pretty much set, aren't they? Nico Williams on the right.
You're not going to go for Brett Williams on the left then?
No, not happening.
And Brendan Maloney on the right.
Oh yeah, wonderful. Yeah, of course.
So imagine you have Keith Foy on the left.
We're thinking Fry up front as well. Yeah,
don't be daft. Okay,
from injury next week.
You centre mids. I think they're going to pick themselves, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yates is injured, right?
Yates is injured. If I'm going off the current squad, I'd have Cafu in for him.
Don't think you've got much choice.
We haven't got much choice. In terms of players that we would bring in, though, obviously I would prefer to have Morgan Gibbs-White and Lewis O'Brien together in the middle. Or, I think they'd be both quite good options.
You'd have MGW in the centre of the park and not in the cam position.
Well, no, sorry. Okay, let me rephrase this then.
Okay.
Cafu, and then O'Brien.
Okay.
And then Gibbs-White just in front, if we were to have Gibbs-White.
So let's assume we've got Georgia Toffolo, with a Lilo on the beach. Sorry, I've got to mention Lilo somewhere, haven't I, in this? So we've got Toffolo, we've got O'Brien, and let's just assume that we put in 25 million and a couple of Mars bars on the curly whirly, and we sign Morgan's Gibbs, right? So we've got those three. We've got this lad in Asta, whatever his name is, Asta La Vista. Sorry, I'm just getting bothered by bats. If you see me going like that, big ones. And we'll say that we've got this lad up front as well, Jordan Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that they're the plays that we've got. Do you want to add anybody into that before we come up with this final 11?
I want to say Yazici as well from Lille. I know that he was someone that they looked at.
Okay.
And Gustavo Hamer, because I like not having them all at the same time, but just people I would have looking at.
You've got a thing about Hamer, haven't you?
I loved watching him at Coventry.
Do you sign him on Football Manager?
I do. Take him everywhere I go.
Yeah, I thought you might. Yeah,
that's the odd player that you take everywhere you go. I've got Joe Warren, Addy Amy, and obviously Vranks and Hamer. So,
for me, it used to be Dean Windass and Paul Warhurst.
Going back a bit now.
I'm right. So centre midfield. Centre midfield. Who are we going for?
And this is including people we could transfer in, yeah?
Yeah, sure. Realistically, so we can't include Ronaldo, unfortunately. Though I would sign him because I'm sure he would want to play for us.
Yeah, of course. Especially with the wages we could offer him. O'Brien.
Okay. I'd say yeah. Is he going to play the 6 or the 8 role? Or the 10?
Not the 10. Not if we were going to have White there.
So MGW in the White position, in the 10 position.
Yeah.
Okay. So is Brian 6 or 8?
I'd have him 8.
You've had him 8, right? Okay. Why is that?
I don't really know. I don't know. A bit more forward, perhaps, but I think that would suit him a bit more because he is a bit more of a forward-thinking player, isn't he? I know you've got Gibbs-White there to do that, but he's got more of a forward-thinking element to him.
Drives.
Yeah, he drives up really well, and if he can the only thing he'll need to adjust to though is he will need to look at passing left and right. And I think because obviously if you saw him at Huddersfield, he was playing through the middle quite a lot. So, and he was making those breakthroughs. So, yeah, I think 8 would suit Brian more. And then I'm not going to say anybody for the 6 role. I'm not going to mention anybody new that we're going to sign. I'm just going to say at the moment, Cafu.
If Yates was fit,
yeah,
Yates.
Yeah,
I mean, let's put
yeah.
Yates in because we don't know if these players are going to sign yet or not. So let's have Yates in. So no
Um,
Colback.
no Colback. No. I like Colback on a playing
Really?
level and on a personal level because when I met him, I didn't make the same mistake as McKenna. But a nice guy, and he does a lot off the pitch, and he has got Prem experience. But how often can you play him, and how long will he last in the Premier League? I don't know. Not saying though that he won't get game time because I hope he does. Maybe the last 10 or so minutes of the match every now and then. I think he'll do good in that.
Somebody
But
needs to do a video clip of him. I'm not going to say the word, but you know when you wind another player up, ends in housery. Somebody needs to do a montage of Colback doing his housery against all the teams that we played. Because was it against Leicester or against Derby, wasn't it? He was
yeah,
he
oh,
was
he loved it.
wetting himself.
It was Joe Worrell that was the best during that Leicester game. That was honestly one of the greatest things I've ever seen. The passion that was seething through him was amazing. And Liam, I just want to say, Liam Stano, once we've done the squad, we will have you on for a quick 5 minutes.
Yay! Let's get him on.
I'll send you an invite link just now, but I won't be able to add you in for just a little bit. Right, let's
So
carry on with the
we've
squad.
got Yates at 6,
Yeah.
O'Brien at 8,
hmm
leg before wicket. That's Morgan Gibbs White at number 10.
Yeah.
And so, which gives us one player up front then.
Does that give us one player up front?
Think so. We've got 3 at the back. One,
We
two,
should have
7, 8. No, 2 up front. 2 up
two up
front.
front. I was going to say, and then it would be a one
Sorry.
Ian Johnson, wouldn't it?
So Johnson and
A one E.
I've got no idea how to pronounce that lad's name.
Come on, go Taiwo. Just say Taiwo.
Is it Taiwo or Tewu?
Taiwo.
Taiwo. Okay.
Guys, we are 4 subscribers off 750. If we can do that, that'd be great.
Well done, Kel.
I know. Come on, Kel spotted it. I know there's a couple of you leaving because it's a bit late and we're going to be going very soon, 15 minutes
Laura.
time. So, Laura, thank you for joining. And also,
you need to get some girls on here.
Oh, well, we do.
Girls.
We do.
You?
Eve, we need to get you back on as well, Eve. We need to, because I feel at the moment it is more of a male demographic coming on the channel. So yeah, you are right.
Do you know Claire? She's like, I can't think of her surname. She's like 3'10". Pardon? Yeah, she's friends. No, not that Claire. This Claire's like 3'10", and she describes herself as being scrappy do. She's got glasses, nice looking lady, massive Forest fan. She wears like a pink, the old pink Forest shirt on Twitter. Yeah, she's really knowledgeable. Yeah, there are others as well. So a lady out there called Michaela as well. My God, she can talk Forest off that hind legs off a donkey. That young lady.
Oh, well, and Kel as well. We've got to have Kel. You've got to come on as well because you've supported me since day one. So let's get you on here.
Is this Kel, that lady I've just started stalking? And is Kel the one who has Budweiser's in her garden?
It is. It is.
Because she thinks it's Friday today, doesn't she?
I know it's not Friday. Quite, it's Thursday, Kel. But Kel's living every day like it's Friday.
A1E.
Vicky as well. You comment a lot as well. You ought to come on the
Girl Power
stream. Yeah, Girl Power there. Eve, you'll definitely be coming on again if you're interested. We might be doing a stream, not tomorrow night because I'm working, but maybe Saturday or probably Sunday. Couple of days break at the weekend.
16? Is it what paper round? Is it?
No, I'm waiting. I'm doing waitering.
Oh, what? Are you allowed to say where? Are you allowed to plug or?
I'm not going to say where, just for.
Well, we'll not come down to see you.
Oh, I'll reveal the details a little bit later on. How about I don't want to give it out on the social domain. Just do
they do kebabs and fireworks?
Not quite. That's the thing. My birthday is 27th of July. No wave, because funnily enough, that's my birthday as well.
Oh, happy birthday.
So I'll get you and Kel on together. And yeah, my birthday is actually on a Wednesday as well. So me, my best friend, and now Eve as well are all born on the same day. So how amazing is that? I mean, incredible.
So this 11 is Hendo in goal.
Yes. Hendo in goal.
Nikate, Cook and Worrell at the back.
I'm not in agreement with that at all.
All right, okay. You'll take Cook out. You can have Figueiredo in at the back, as you said earlier. Wingbacks, Richard and Richardson Williams, and in centre midfield, assuming we sign O'Brien and assuming he's fit, O'Brien and Yates.
Yeah. Yates, O'Brien 8.
Just ahead of him, MGW.
Yeah, 10.
And Johnson and EI up the football. I won ye we go.
Yeah.
What a dad joke
Fun.
that is.
That was you tried it. You tried.
I did try it.
Well, Osborne, that's the team we've got. So if you just want to read that all out again for Osborne, because he was asking this question.
Right. Okay. Osborne. Is that Ben? So we've got Hendo and then 3 at the back, from left to right, near Carte, McKenna, Worrell. Wing backs are Richards and Williams, and in midfield is O'Brien, alongside Ryan Yates, MGW at number 10 with Johnson and Awoniyi up front. I felt like Colin Fray giving that out. That was brilliant.
He's amazing to watch even when I'm commentating. I sit back sometimes and I'm just talking on the mic, like watching Colin Fray do it. It's magical. But yeah, David, someone says you're gradually fading into the darkness, and by gathering by some of these comments, I think people are they must be liking that. But I think by the McKenna comments especially, it has got quite dark quite quick there, I will say. Where actually are you?
I live in Cognac in France, and I'm just being joined by my little boy. You come say hello. You come to say hello.
No.
Do you like Scott McKenna?
No.
What do you mean hello? Go on. Are you going inside?
No.
No.
Scott
You sounds like you're falling out with mummy. Sorry,
Oh.
doing daddy stuff here. It's not Scott McKenna.
He's falling out with you because of your Scott McKenna thoughts.
No, this is Penfold.
Penfold, hello, how you doing?
His name's not Penfold, but it's my little nickname for him, isn't it? Go on, you're gonna fall off. You be careful there. You're gonna have to carry this for a second, Jamie.
It's okay.
Dude.
No, don't say things like that. Don't say things like that. I'm talking
I'm
to
going to
people.
quickly put David on mute now, just for the time being, whilst he sorts out his family things, and whilst he speaks to his kid about why McKenna is the best option over Steve Cook. And I know he can still hear me, David. So don't forget that. David is gradually disappearing to darkness. You know it. Forrest Ant was just thinking the same thing. You can always play Morgan Gibbs White behind the striker. Yeah, that's kind of what we mean with the 10 role. 30th for me. Okay, he's all good now, so we'll unmute him quick. We are only, I think we're going to go till 1:30, so not far away now. Is David in a cognac cell? I mean, he's been drinking too much of it tonight, hasn't he? From so there's some footage of Figs playing for Hull, taking out an opportunity in a friendly, hitting a board and getting up without an issue. I like Figueiredo, and I think he's I'm just going to mute him again quickly. He's done a lot for Forest, and I think maybe need a bit more appreciation. People saying leave him on mute. Greg says he's much better on mute. I think he's relishing this controversy. I think he loves it really. I'm going to unmute him very quickly. Does that make you Danger Mouse then,
Figueiredo, by the way, I'm sure he's going to open up his own security firm once he's finished football, and the hitman or something like that.
He's absolutely solid. I like Figueiredo, and it was a shame when he left, especially on a free, because I thought he was going back to Portugal. But Hull and Portugal, they have their similarities. I think more so. I think the heat is a big one, isn't it? So that says a lot, doesn't it? But guys, we've got about 5 more minutes now, and I've nearly drank all my water. So Forrest Ant says, despite all the controversy, I'm sure, big up David, excellent guest. Apart from the McKenna take, I think you're forgetting his Houghton comments as well, but I won't go into that.
Houghton was great.
No.
Oh, I can put a really good argument forward for Houghton for at least being reasonable.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely serious. Because I'll keep it really, really short.
Please do.
First of all, I don't like his football or anything like that, and he didn't adapt. But he was massively hamstrung with COVID, and he was massively hamstrung with the pre-season. When we played Coventry and we lost 2-1 on the opening day of the season, I think most Forest fans were saying, geez, we need to be winning 2 or 3-0 by the 60th minute, because we're not going to cope after that, because we're just going to get run over. That's exactly what happened. He made many mistakes, but there were many things that he couldn't help that were going against him, and one of them was that pre-season. But you have to remember as well, he came in after Lamouchi lost 4 games on the spin, and he kept us up. So we have to remember that as well.
But he could have easily sent us down.
He kept us up after losing 4 games on the after. I can't even get his name out. Lamouchi lost 4 games on the spin. And the transfer window had come and gone. It was difficult. We had nobody in at home. The crowds weren't there. It's extremely difficult. Had all these new players coming in, trying to settle in from around the world, living out of suitcases, couldn't see their families because of COVID, living in bubbles and stuff like that. It was a really, really strange period of time. And I'm sure Houghton would have done a lot better if it wasn't for that COVID implication. And that's my reasonable argument for him. Nothing more than that. And it won't go any further than that.
Well, I mean, Phil has said all credibility gone, and Phil, I'll need to message you in just a moment.
Didn't have any in the first place, Phil. So don't worry about that.
VB says get rid. David is an expat for a reason, and Gordon he emigrated 1,000 miles from Slutton. Wow. So David, get on the water, says Nick, and other Nick says cut him off now. Well, I mean, we're going to be cutting off in just a moment anyway. And I may as well just say it's been an absolute pleasure. But before we cut off, Liam is waiting for us and eagerly awaiting to chat. Now, Nick, Liam, we haven't forgot about you. And it seems you're in a bit of a different setup today because there's not 100 monitors around you. So
I didn't realise I was even on then.
He didn't even look at that. Wait, we caught him off, didn't we? We caught him off guard there. Now, Liam, before we go, I want your thoughts on who your starting 11 would be. And first of all, let me hear that defensive 3.
Nakate, McKenna and Worrell.
Who's going to be the centre back?
I'd say Worrell in the centre and then McKenna and Nakate either side.
Okay, so you wouldn't have Cook over McKenna?
No, he just brings experience, doesn't he?
So what do you think about David's comments saying that he would have Cook over McKenna? Oh, I think Liam may have crashed out for a moment there. Wow,
he was parental advisory lyrics there. I think he was muting himself because of the expletives he was going to share.
I don't know why my phone don't like this stream or something. I mean, I think is your opinion coming from he's played Premier League, he's played a lot of games there, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's right.
I can understand it, but you've got to go with McKenna. McKenna's a beast in the air. I mean, Cook just brings experience, but I wouldn't say he's a starter. And you've got to give Worrell his chance in the Prem.
If it's that back 3, as you said, and we go to St James's Park and we do them 1-0, I'll buy you both a pint because I don't care on Forest.
I'll come and find you after and all. I won't let you leave.
It's £8 a pint over here as well,
Yeah, but don't they literally make it like in the place? Like they make it like bang on the field. It's all pretty good over there, isn't it?
I don't know about that. I don't know about the booze. I don't know about the beer. The wine's all right.
No, the wine's all right. Oh, you knew he was going to say that. Big up, Liam says out of reach. Patch Adams, Danger Mouse was awesome. Super Ted. Oh, I loved Inspector Gadget.
Hey, where did that all come from?
Because we were talking, because you mentioned Penfold earlier.
Oh, of course, yeah. Penfold had a wee on the lawn, actually.
Right.
And about Houghton comment saying starting up about in lockdown and stuff. Every other team did. Everyone else had the same excuse.
Oh, absolutely, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, I was at every single one of them games, and to be fair, we wasn't actually that bad. I mean, we were being beat by 1-0. We weren't getting tonked every game.
Yeah. There's just no imagination, though, was there? There was just no style. There's no heartbeat. There was no drive.
No second plan, did he? That was literally it.
Well, Liam, for me, football's about going out there and winning. And one of the beautiful things I love about Steve Cooper, when we're losing to Fulham, don't worry about it. Let's attack and see what we can do. And that's what football's about, right? It's getting out there, getting goals, and not trying to defend a 1-0 defeat. And sadly, that was a demise of Houghton, wasn't it? You're right. He wasn't adaptable.
Well, listen, guys, I can see where this Houghton thing is going to go because I can already see some people making comments. But all I want to say is it's been a great stream tonight. I've really, really enjoyed speaking to you, David. I think
I like that as
we've
well.
had our controversial times. Liam, it's been good to speak to you. I'm sorry we couldn't get you on for a little bit longer.
Little cameo. I liked it.
He had his little cameo, but
It's
whilst he's in there-
Carvalho.
yeah, it's Carvalho, yeah. But
I'm not that bad.
I didn't pay Liam £13 million to come on this stream.
Yeah.
I paid him, I think it was around 11.5. So he's made a fair bag, and that should cover any away games you got to make this season, or any train tickets, should I say. Wait till first game of the season, says Ken. We've got a Toon fan in. Be great to have you on the next. If you can, Ken, contact me on Twitter, which is just the name at I'm Jamie Martin. And he says Forest Scum, says Ken. Thank you for that, Ken. I'd love to have you on the channel to talk a little bit about Newcastle. It'd be great to speak to you. So yeah, no bitterness my end. But if you want to come and talk on the channel, you're more than welcome to, Ken. So before we go, any last questions I'm happy to answer. Steve Cooper hasn't signed his new contract yet, agreed in principle, nothing set in stone.
Good, glad he hasn't. He doesn't want to. I don't want him to sign it yet. He doesn't need to sign it yet. He's using it as a fulcrum to make sure that we get in the player signings. This is his first real beginning of the season with the ownership of Mariankis and Nottingham Forest, and he doesn't know us. He doesn't know the chairman. He knows him for a year. He doesn't need to sign that contract right now. So by not signing that contract right now, it gives him a little bit of leverage in the old transfer department. Let him sign it in September.
Of Forest.
He's the Mbappe of Forest. Well said. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I can see him sign his contract soon, but a lot of people are leaving because it is that time to finish.
Good night, everyone.
And literally, no bitterness between me and you, my friend. Just message me, and then I'll be more than happy to talk to you a bit about Newcastle on our next stream on Sunday. If you're interested, just drop me a message, and we'll have a good discussion about that first game. Things mutes needed again. Try not to hand out too many mutes, unless there's something ridiculous. I've only handed out like 3 or 4, and they were pretty bad comments. So everyone's got an opinion. I'm okay with that. Even if it is teams that don't like us, I'm okay with that. But if you're willing to come on the chat and talk to us about what you think about the team, I would more respect that than a comment.
Let's be nice.
Stream. Let's also be nice. We all love football and we all love our teams, but it's good to have a civilized chat like we do here.
On the nice thing as well, on Saturday, if anyone sees us, come and say hello, have a chat. I'll put you in because I'm recording the game, so well, not recording the game.
How many more subscribers do you need, Liam?
To hit 350, I still need 2.
Still need 2, guys. Come on, give him a bit of a hand. I mean, I need 1. I need 1 more. Now Liam needs 2. It will take you about 3 seconds.
I need 1 on Twitter for is it NFFC expats or NFC expats on Twitter. I need 1 for 200. Woohoo!
I think you probably need about 101 now, David, after tonight.
I made a comment earlier and I lost a few.
I thought I was a controversial one.
No, Liam, if you thought you're controversial, you are not my friend. But Mark said he's on his way to do it, so he only needs 1 more.
Yes, mate.
So Ken, pre-season's going decent. I think we need to wait for a couple more games. We're going to Germany to do all that. So that's going to be awesome. 750. So whoever's just been our 750th subscriber, if you want to get in contact with me, we'll have you on the show. How about that? It's now 751. So
that's crazy. That is. It's grown so well for you.
It's been mental. This month we've done 617 subs, so I'll take it. I just want to thank you all, most of all, because I've put a lot of work into this. I love it, but it would not be possible without you guys supporting me. So, Forest answer start a petition to release David from the coal shed. Well, listen, guys, maybe we should lock him in there because it seems as though most of you think that. And Jigsy says, Jigsy does not like you, David. He says, no more David Paul, please. No more.
That's okay. He's probably 1 piece short of the puzzle.
Oh, I think we should get Jigsy. What does everybody think? I think we should get Jigsy and David on a stream one day just to talk a little bit about Chris Hughton and everybody else.
You can clickbait it as well, saying,
"Oh God,
heated controversial chat."
in the dark.
Congratulations, Liam. You're on 351 subscribers, my friend.
Thank you,
Yay, well,
everyone.
Congratulations.
Does mean a lot.
400 is the next goal, and we're going to hit it, and we're going to make sure that Liam is on every stream until he does hit it. So please help him if you can. Takes a second. It's Stanhope's away days, as it says on his name badge.
So, gents, I got to go. I just want to say thanks to both of you, and thanks to everybody for watching and joining in and teasing me and winding me up. Love to you all. Jay, you're absolutely awesome. Liam, thank you so much for the way that you support Jay and everybody out there, the way that you support this channel. But I've got to go. I'm sorry.
No worries, David. I'm sure that you will be missed by many on that live chat. It's been great to have you, my friend.
Love you long time. $5.
Cheers. See you, mate. Bye.
See you later.
I don't know if you're even allowed to say what you just said at the end. I don't know why you just said that, but St. Maxim, Ken's warning us about St. Maxim. Before we get into the Newcastle chat, I'm just going to end it now. Greg says Team Jigsy. Are you Team Jigsy or are you Team David? I think I know how this is going to go. Mark says he's top man. Score prediction for the Newcastle game then. Before we go, this is the very last thing because I do have school in the morning. So, Liam, score predictions for Newcastle. Go.
1-0.
1-0.
And it's going to be a tight, nervy game.
I'm going to say 2-1.
1-0 to us.
2-1, Ryan Yates header in the 92nd minute. You heard it here first. In proper fashion. If Ryan Yates scores, we're jumping in the... Oh, what would it be? In the Tyne? Jumping in the Tyne? We're jumping in the Tyne. So, guys, it's been a pleasure. Remember to subscribe if you can. We're on 751, so if you could get 760 by like the end of tomorrow, that'd be great. And Liam, if you can get him to 400, that'd be even better because there's a lot of you subscribing to me that haven't subscribed to Liam yet, and I think it would be really good if you could help both of us out. And Warren, I appreciate your support. You've been here for a while, and it means a lot to me how much you support us. Good bloke, but needs to chill a little. Team Jigsy, 5-0. Oh, that's a... Mark, I'll give you 50 quid if we win 5-0, and that's a promise to you. I promise. You can quote me on this. I'll give you 50 quid. Ryan Yates is injured. Yeah, but who knows what will happen with the injury situation? He could come back. I doubt it, but that would be nice. But anyway, guys, been a pleasure. Liam, been a pleasure as well. Sorry to have not had you on for as long as I wanted. But
it's all right. I like my little cameo.
But anyway, guys, been a pleasure. Hour and 37 minutes of good streaming. A lot of people are leaving now, and so are we. So have a great night, everybody. Been a pleasure. From me and Liam, all the best.